Hello, everybody. Hi, everyone, and welcome. I am going live today on Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. That's good. So I'm going live today, and we're talking about orgasm equality. Okay, we're talking about the orgasm gap and why that's important. And I'm telling you, it's very important because um, women are not getting their pleasure needs met at the same rate that men are. Okay, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm bringing awareness to the orgasm gap. And I'm excited to have people joining me and answering. I will answer any questions that you have. I'm live on Facebook. I'm live on Instagram. I am live on YouTube. So make sure you hop on and you say hi and you are, chatting with me, and we can have a really great engagement today. Super excited to have you guys on here today listening to all about the orgasm gap and about my podcast, Please Me. My podcast is called Please Me, and it aims to destigmatize conversations about sex and sexual health. I talk all about different topics regarding sexuality, sexual health. I have lots of incredible guests on each week having conversations with me about different topics. And this topic, the orgasm gap and orgasm equality, comes up every single week. And I talk about it every single week specifically because I understand that without awareness and without education, none of us are going to be able to get our pleasure needs met. And there is a discrepancy among heteronormative relationships among women and men where men are getting their needs met sexually 95% of the time and able to reach climax, but women are only getting their needs met 65% of the time and reaching climax. So there's a big discrepancy between men and women's pleasure. And the reason for that is because we are often seeing, um, in movies and in shows, and whenever you see sex, um, sorry about that. So, whenever you see sex depicted in movies or in television, you see penetration as being the main form of sexual activity, right? And there's so much more to sex than just penetration alone. And penetration is the way that men climax, but it's not the way that women climax. 95% of women need external clitoral stimulation to climax. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And I can't wait to have some listeners ask some questions. So feel free to hop on and to list and to ask questions, or to, just have a chat with me. The orgasm gap is a real thing. And it really is interesting because it exists in any kind of relationship, from hookups all the way through marriage and everything in between. And it shows that women are getting their pleasure needs met less than men are. And so anyway, I'm going to just open up the comments here because I want to make sure that if anybody's commenting, make sure that you say hi and tell me where you're from. Tell me where you are right now. and where you're coming to me on this live feed from. I would love to hear from you wherever you are in the world. I can't wait to hear where you're from. And, say hello and tell me what you think about orgasm equality. I want to know what you think about orgasm equality. That's what I'm calling for today. I'm calling for orgasm equality and bringing awareness to the orgasm gap. And, we'll be talking about this off and on all day today, but the revolution is not just today, okay? Today is the beginning of the orgasm revolution. And I know that, I've read about the orgasm gap in many publications. I've seen people talking about it online in different, Instagram feeds, and there are many people talking about it. But what I really want is for all of us to come together and to really create a big effort to spread the word about the orgasm gap. Because without people understanding what the orgasm gap is, our needs are not going to be met. And so I'm bringing awareness, I'm bringing education, and I'm excited to be here with you today. And off and on, I'm going to be on the OWL app today when I'm not live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm going to be live on the OWL app. And the OWL app is an app where you can call me directly and talk to me. And so I would love to hear from you today. So I'm going to go ahead and post up here, my code for the OWL app. The OWL app code is EH576472. And if you enter that code, once you've downloaded the app, you can talk to a whole host of different professionals on there. I am a sexual health professional. I am a licensed physical therapist that treats conditions of the pelvic floor and sexual health. And I treat things like erectile dysfunction, decreased vaginal sensitivity and dryness, and painful sex, incontinence, and many other issues that can cause sexual dysfunction. And that is my specialty. And I love talking to new people, and I love helping people with these issues. So if that's you, remember that there is no shame in seeking help for sexual health conditions. And so reach out to me on pleaseme.online, or you can reach out to me and speak to me on the OWL app with this code. This code will get you a $10 free coupon, I'll say, or $10 free to use on the app. So make sure that you use that code, because the app is an app that requires you to have some money in the bank, and they give you $10 to start. So you can start making calls with that money, and it's a super awesome app. So I definitely suggest that you check it out. I would love it if you joined the revolution, and the way that you can join the revolution is by going to pleaseme.online and getting your orgasm equality t-shirt like mine. And once you have gotten your t-shirt and you get it in the mail, take pictures of yourself wearing it and post it on any social media, and make sure that you tag me. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And you can definitely tag me, and I will repost it on my site. And I just want to make sure that everybody that is joining the revolution is also tagging me, so that I can also show that more people are joining. And it's going to be an ongoing revolution. I'm so excited to share this information with the world today, because the orgasm gap is something that I think is a very unsavory fact. And I definitely feel like it can be changed. But the only way to change it is through education and through awareness. So today we are bringing awareness to this issue. of the orgasm gap. I'll be talking about it off and on today throughout the day. And I would love it if you joined the revolution. So please jump on live, say hello, get your t-shirt. And, when you get it in the mail, it may be a week from now or whenever, make sure that you take pictures and you post it. And hopefully this revolution will grow and grow over time to be huge and to be international, because really, no matter where you are in the world, whether you live in the USA like I do, I'm in Florida, I live in Wellington, wherever you are in the world, whether you're in Europe or in, Australia or in, Asia, wherever you are, South America, and you're a woman, and you're in a heteronormative relationship, it's very possible that you're experiencing something called the orgasm gap, where 95% of men are getting their needs met sexually by being able to climax, but only 65% of women are. And how do we close that orgasm gap? And it can happen, but it does take awareness. And so during my podcast, pleaseme.online, Please Me, okay, is the name of the podcast. Pleaseme.online is my website. And my podcasts are on my website, but Please Me is the podcast, and you can listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts. It's on Apple, Spotify, Audible, Buzzsprout, Listen Notes, all of them. Okay, so you can find the podcast anywhere. You can also view the podcast on my YouTube channel called Please Me. And you can see right here, if you see that, you'll know that that's my podcast. It's called Please Me by Eve. And you can watch it, and we talk all about different topics about sexuality, sexual health. My mission is to destigmatize conversations about sex and sexual health. And I noticed that, in my physical therapy practice, oftentimes people, will say that they're, getting treatment for, let's say, erectile dysfunction, for instance, but they won't tell their wives that they're coming to get treatment, And so, I'm a health professional. I shouldn't be a dirty little secret, right? But men are ashamed to talk to their wives or partners about their change in function. And, over time, it's very common for function to decline. 20% of men in their 20s already start to have decreased testosterone and erectile dysfunction. So 20% of men in their 20s have some form of erectile dysfunction or changes in their erectile function. And it goes up over time by 10% per decade. So 30% of men in their 30s, 40% of men in their 40s, 50% of men in their 50s, 60% of men in their 60s. You can see where I'm going with this, right? It continues on and on. And it's such a big problem. And, nobody's talking about it, or, people are ashamed to talk about it or embarrassed that it's happening to them. And there's nothing embarrassing about it. It's completely common. And it's a condition that can be treated, and what's less often discussed, because, erectile dysfunction, men can go see their doctors and they give them, Viagra or Cialis, and that is not the solution. That just kind of puts a Band-Aid on the problem. But there are treatments for erectile dysfunction. And the gold standard treatment is something called acoustic wave therapy, which I do in my practice. And that treatment is also good for decreased vaginal sensitivity and dryness, which is something that a lot of women experience, sometimes after cancer treatments, sometimes during perimenopause or menopause. And, what it is a lack of blood flow. Just like to the erectile tissue, there can be a lack of blood flow. There can also be a lack of blood flow to the vaginal area and the clitoris. And what happens is the body's not able to produce as much lubrication. And so you start having painful sex. Now, I talk a lot about lubrication on my podcast in multiple episodes. But, I always say my favorite is coconut oil. And I love coconut oil because it smells yummy, it tastes nice, and it offers a really natural, great lube. And I use it, you're technically not supposed to use coconut oil if you're using condoms. So if you're using condoms, I would get a different type of lube. But if you're not using condoms and you're with the partner that you've had conversations about, not using protection, and you're, feeling safe about that, I, give coconut oil a try. It's really amazing. So love it if you would join the revolution starting today, and it's going to be ongoing. And I cannot wait to see all of the beautiful people that join me in this effort to bring awareness to the orgasm gap. So what you would need to do is you would go to pleaseme.online and you would order your Orgasm Equality t-shirt, and you would take pictures of it and you would post it on social media. And from there, you would tag me. Make sure you tag me, or you can add me as collaborator on your phone. That's another way to tag me. And from there, I can repost your pictures. And it is going to be such an awesome experience to see how many amazing people are joining me today. And I already have had several people joining me who were guests on my show. Demi Wild was on earlier today. And he was a guest on this season. And actually, his episode is coming out this week, which is on Wednesday of this week. It's coming out on Valentine's Day, and he was such a fun guest. We talked about a lot of different things. And one of the things that I like to talk about in all of my podcasts is the orgasm gap. And I always ask my guests what their favorite sex position is. Let me take a sip here. And the reason that I like to ask that question is because I like to think about what position they choose and see if that position is a position where a woman could manually stimulate herself or use a toy, like a vibrator, for instance, to stimulate herself externally while she's getting penetrative sex, right? And because penetration alone is typically not enough for a woman to reach climax. Only 3 to 5% of women can reach climax by penetration alone. So it's really important to know your body and to know what works for you so that you can close your own orgasm gap. So I like to talk a lot about that on my podcast. And Demi is part of the LGBTQ community. And we talked about how, it's really uncommon to have any kind of gap in gay relationships because there's 2 women or there's 2 men. And, they tend to have conversations about sex before having sex. It's not uncommon for them to say, this is what I like. This is what turns me on. I like to do this. You like to do that. There's like a whole discussion because, the parts don't line up like, heteronormative relationships do. And so, it's assumed that, your partner is going to know what to do, right? In a heteronormative relationship, they're just going to naturally know what to do. Well, guess what? Our partners don't naturally know what to do with our bodies because every single body is different, so you need to communicate to your partner what you like, what turns you on, what gets you there. Otherwise, you're going to have an orgasm gap. And I also always like to emphasize that, once the man has a climax, that doesn't mean that sex necessarily is over. It can continue, especially if the woman hasn't gotten, her pleasure needs met yet. And so how do you know, right? How do you know if they've gotten their pleasure needs met? And hopefully, we're talking about people who are not faking orgasm, because 80% of women have reported that they've faked orgasm sometime in their life, right? 80%, that's a huge percentage. And I want that percentage to go down to zero, because why are we faking it? What for? To build someone else's ego? What we're really doing is teaching our partner what we don't like. So that is a really bad strategy to get your pleasure needs met. So communicating what you like is key. And so I like to talk about that on the podcast as well. Let's see. So this week is going to be the release of episode number 10. And episode number 10 will be with Demi Wild. It's going to be a lot of fun. You should check it out. My episodes come out every Wednesday. And they're usually about an hour long. I always have a guest. And the guest is always an expert or somebody who's maybe written a book and who is gearing their conversation towards sexual health and sexuality. And we have tons of really interesting conversations every week. And I just love speaking to different people. And, if you need help with any kind of condition, when it comes to sexual health, you can reach me on pleaseme.online or the OWL app and talk to me about what's going on with you and, how I can help you, because it is my profession. And I've had guests on from all walks of life who also, professionally help people with their sexual needs. And not all of my guests, but many of them. I have Mizzy Bender on the show. She is an amazing woman. She has her own podcast called The Mizzy Bender Show, and she talks about the swingers world. And she really specializes in helping people in the swingers community. And so you can reach out to her. I had Adrienne Grayson. She was on my show this season as well, I should say. And she talked about all of the natural herbs that you can use to enhance your sexual pleasure. And she is on Instagram every day talking about how she helps her husband to make sure that he keeps his erectile function, working strong. And she comes up with all sorts of amazing concoctions for him and for herself. And so I encourage you to look at that and to check her out. And Edward Miskey, who, talked about, using sex as a tool for coping during his cancer diagnosis. That was a super interesting episode as well. So I encourage you to listen to that one. And Julietta Chiara, she was on the show as well. She was episode number 4 this season, and she was on this podcast last season as well. She is a BDSM and sex coach, a kink and sex coach, and she is a shibari expert, which is the Japanese rope tying. And it is so interesting and so beautiful to see people tied up in that way. And that is her job. And she also does coaching in the kink community and helping people to enter into that community. And, she has tons of knowledge. We talked about aftercare and how important aftercare is. And aftercare is the best time to talk to your partner about what you liked that they did, to you during that particular sex session, right? telling your partner what you liked so that they could repeat that again, because we don't want to be in the category of, faking orgasms. No, we want to be in the category of having orgasms over and over again. And so make sure that you listen to her podcast. That was a really awesome one. I had Rachel Levin on. It was amazing as well. She wrote a book, and it's all about body positivity and feeling good in your own skin. And no matter where you are in your journey of health, whether or what size you are, we all fluctuate. Our bodies fluctuate from day to day, year to year. What you look like, at 20 is not what you're going to look like at 40. And really embracing every version of yourself is so important. And, Rachel and I talk about that a lot on, the episode where she was my guest. And she was amazing at talking about, how to gain that confidence. And we talked about big clit energy. And, that is the confidence that we have in the bedroom that translates to all aspects of our life, whether it be, at work, in the boardroom, or, out dancing, whatever it may be, all aspects of your life. You're feeling confident, you're feeling secure in your sexuality. And it's gonna show. That big clit energy is going to show by your confidence. So I encourage everyone to learn how to, really love your body, take care of yourself, and to find out what really works for you sexually by touching yourself, pleasuring yourself, and learning what works for you, so that you can translate that information to the bedroom and you can share that with your partner. And, breaking down these walls, these barriers of shame, and really trying to encourage people to communicate with their partners is going to make all the difference in getting your pleasure needs met. So she was on the show, and Belle was on the show, and Belle was amazing. She shared a statistic with me, which I was pretty surprised by, which I had never really considered, but 1/3 of our lives as women is going to be spent in menopause. And, oftentimes people think of menopause as like, you're an old dried up prune and you don't want to have sex anymore. And that is not true. You can absolutely be sexually, living your best life during menopause. But you have to pay attention to what's going on in your body, because hormonally things are changing. And sometimes we need a little treatment, we need a little help to really make sure that we are, having the best experience that we can. And so, there are lots of treatments for that. You can, have estrogen cream that you can put on topically that can help with your sensitivity. There's a treatment called acoustic wave therapy that can help you with your decreased sensitivity and dryness. All of those things are treatments that I do, where the acoustic wave therapy is a treatment that I do in my physical therapy practice. So if that's something that you're interested in, please reach out to me on pleaseme.online. You can also call me, on the OWL app. And you can download the app and use this code EH576472, code EH576472. And when you put that code in, you'll get $10 towards using the app. And with that money, you can, call any type of expert that you find on there. And I am one of the experts on the OWL app, and I talk to people about sexual health and sexuality. And you can ask me any question that you want. I am available to chat with you, and I will be on and off the OWL app all day. If I'm not live, I will be on the OWL app, answering your questions and being here for you to really talk to you about this orgasm revolution that I'm starting today, but that's going to be ongoing. So please join the revolution and reach out. Don't be shy. I am here to help. If you are interested, you can support the show on Buzzsprout, or you can go to pleaseme.online and support the show as well. Any bit helps because, if you know anything about being a creator, creativity comes at a cost, right? And so, we're always creating content and really creating great information and education for you. But it does come at a price. And so any little bit, helps towards offsetting that price so we can continue to bring you great information and do things like today's live where we're creating a revolution around a topic that I think is super important for everybody to know about, whether you're a woman or a man. Because, I feel like a lot of men don't even understand how women's bodies work. We think that, men may think that they're kind of like, that women are kind of like them. And we're not. We're different. We're different from them. And the way that we orgasm is different. And so a man, generally requires like penetration, right, to orgasm. But a woman requires external vaginal stimulation. So 95% of women need external clitoral, I should say not vaginal, clitoral stimulation. So on the vulva and externally on the clitoris in order to orgasm. And a lot of men don't know that. And even a lot of women don't know that. So oftentimes people think that there's something wrong with them if they can't come with, or orgasm with penetration alone. And believe me, if that's you, you are not alone. Only 3 to 5% of women can climax from penetration alone. So you are not alone if that's you. And so that's what this is all about, is bringing awareness to that orgasm gap. So the steps to join would be to go to pleaseme.online, and there you'll be able to, first when you open my website, you'll have to accept that you're 18 and over because my site is for mature audiences. And so once you accept that you're 18 and over, you'll go to my products, and you'll see the first product listed is the Orgasm Equality t-shirt, where you can join the revolution. And then you'll buy the t-shirt. What you'll need to do, because since this product is rated PG-13, you'll have to accept the rating of PG-13 before you can purchase it. It won't allow you to purchase it unless you accept that it's a PG-13 item. And once you've accepted that, then you'll be able to purchase the Orgasm Equality t-shirt. And once you purchase it and you get it in the mail, all you need to do then is take pictures of yourself, right? And post it on any social media. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, and I'm on YouTube. Those are the ones that I'm on. So if you post on any of those sites, please tag me. And then I can share your picture on my Instagram as well. And I can't wait to see everybody wearing their t-shirts and supporting the cause, because the orgasm revolution is something that I think is super important for everybody to understand what the orgasm gap is. And, one person at a time, we can change this issue by education, by learning how we can close our own personal orgasm gap. So that's what this is all about. I've invited a bunch of people who, are going to be joining me. And, they were either guests of my show or just friends who are, supporting the cause. people that, believe in this cause. And so please share with your friends and with others who you think might be interested in joining the Orgasm Revolution as well. So then you just post a picture of you wearing it on any of my feed, and then make sure that you tag me on social media. That way I can repost it. And thank you for joining, and make sure that you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, or TikTok or YouTube. You can follow me, or you can subscribe, and make sure that you are checking out the podcast too, because the podcast is an amazing source of information. Every single week I come and talk to you about something new. And so this week is going to be Demi Wild, who's going to be, his podcast is going to be airing on Wednesday. So I'm excited about that one. And last week I had Sarah Webb on the show, and her podcast is up right now. I actually just posted it to YouTube today, actually, because I was having technical difficulties. So the audio version was available, but now the video version is also available to view on YouTube. And she was just such a great guest. She had so many things to share about, coming out. And she is lesbian, but she was married to a man, and she came out after she divorced him. And it's a very interesting story, and it's a common story for a lot of lesbians, and also for gay men as well, who feel like they can't come out, and they end up getting married, and then they end up getting divorced because they're not living their true authentic selves. So Sarah talks about how she comes to that realization after she gets pregnant, and how when she stops drinking alcohol, she realizes that she does not want to have sex with her husband anymore. And so that was a super interesting story, and how she came to realize that she wasn't bi, right? She was actually a lesbian. And she was unhappy in her marriage, and moved on from that relationship, and is now living her true authentic self. And she helps other women going through the same thing with heartbreak, with getting over heartbreak, and with finding your true authentic self. And I just love that story. And so I wanted to talk to you about it a little bit today as well. So go check out that episode. There's so many different episodes that are so amazing. I'm on season 2, but all of the episodes from season 1 were incredible as well. And so I encourage you to go back and catch up on all those episodes you may have missed. And support the podcast. You can support it on pleaseme.online. Support me by following me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can subscribe, and TikTok, and making sure that you engage with my posts so that more people can see them, because really what I'm offering is education about sexual health. And a lot of times there's not a lot of information out there. And unfortunately, we don't get a lot of education regarding that in school. So we really have to kind of seek that on our own. And so I'm here to help you to find that information. So please, like, subscribe, follow me on, all of my social media. And, hopefully you'll be able to watch the podcasts and enjoy and learn something new, and share with your friends, share with your partner. If there was something that you learned that you thought was very interesting, share it with your partner. What better way to open up the lines of communication than sharing an episode or a post about something that you think they should know about. And so, I offer that to you. And I also offer my services to you. And I'm here to help with sexual health conditions. Like I said before, and I will do it again, my name is Eve, and I am a licensed physical therapist who treats conditions of the pelvic floor and other sexual health conditions. And I have a podcast called Please Me, and it is about destigmatizing conversations about sex and sexual health. And it is really a wealth of information about all sorts of things regarding sexuality. I have different guests on every week, and each one of them is a little gem. There's so much information packed into each one, and we just have such great conversations. And it's just a lot of fun to listen to. Great time to listen in your car when you're like driving to work or whatever. Anytime you have a chance to listen, it's always a good time because you're going to pick something up that's really informative and important. And so, make sure that you're listening to the podcast. I would love to have some questions. So if you're out there and you're listening on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, please ask a question or, say hi. Don't be shy and say hi. So, like I said before, I have social media platforms. I have Instagram, I have Facebook, and I have TikTok, and I'm also on YouTube. That's where you can view the videos. You can also view them on pleaseme.online. And I have all of the episodes on my YouTube channel right now, so you can watch all of the episodes there. There's videos and there's audio on YouTube, but the whole point of YouTube is to watch the video, right? So if you're on YouTube, watch the video. And I often have like really amazing hosts, and it's really fun to see, our interactions together. So definitely, watch on YouTube. And if you're listening, you can listen wherever you listen to podcasts. You can listen on Apple Podcasts. You can listen on Spotify, on Audible, on, let's see, Voice Notes, iHeartRadio, just anywhere you listen to podcasts, I'm there. So you have to find my Please Me podcast art, which is right here in this corner. So if you are looking here, you can see this is what you should be looking for when you're looking for my podcast. It looks just like this, Please Me by Eve. That's me. And that's my podcast. And you can find it on, like I said, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can find it there. And you'll also see this on YouTube. And I'm on YouTube as well, where you can listen and you can view my podcasts. So definitely check it out. It's a great podcast, and it's in its second season. And I'm halfway through my second season. I have put out 9 episodes so far, and this week will be the 10th. So I'll be halfway through my second season this week. And I have already pre-recorded all of the other episodes, and I release them once a week on Wednesdays. So make sure that you're checking that out, because every Wednesday, without fail, I am releasing an episode. And I would love it if you listened, if you watched, And also, if you engaged with me, if you commented, and if you said hello, and, again, you can always reach me on pleaseme.online, or now also on the OWL app. So again, I'm going to point out that you can reach me on the OWL app, and that app is an amazing app. There's a whole host of different professionals on there, and there are people that you can call directly. And there's actually quite a lot of podcast hosts on there where you can call them directly. And I am the podcast host of the podcast called Please Me. And I would love to talk to you. So please, download the app and find me on the app. My name is Eve Hall, and you can use this code EH576472, and that will give you a $10 credit towards your account, and that will allow for you to be able to use the app. So give me a call. So if you're looking at this now, I would love it if you said hi. Don't be shy. I see some people on here, and I would love to answer any questions that you have. So don't be shy and say hello. I'm opening up my comments here, and I'm hoping that I can see your comments. So ask some questions, add some comments. I would love to hear from you. So say hello if you're listening. Okay, say hello. I would love to know where you're listening from. I'm here in Florida. It's a beautiful sunny day. I was actually at the beach yesterday. It was a beautiful day. It's gorgeous weather here in Florida. And so that's where I'm at. But where are you at in the world? I would love to know where you're listening from. And, this message is for everybody, for no matter where you're from, no matter what country you're from. Every single body, right, is wired for pleasure. We are all wired for pleasure. And if we are, not allowing ourselves to explore pleasure, I think we're missing out. And I encourage everyone to explore your own body and to learn what really works for you. Because when you do that, then you can translate that and communicate that with your partner. And this is how we're going to all close our own orgasm gap, through exploration individually, so that you can share that with your partner. That's super key. And also just being awareness of the orgasm gap and what it means, And so that you can, also share that information with your partner. Because, if your partner doesn't know, that you need external clitoral stimulation, you're never going to get external clitoral stimulation unless you're giving it to yourself, right? So don't be shy, and give yourself that stimulation that you need in order to climax, because we all deserve pleasure and we all deserve to have our orgasm gaps closed. So I am going to stay on for another few minutes, and then I am going to be available on the OWL app. Use code EH576472 to call me today. I cannot wait to hear from you. It's going to be so awesome to hear your voice and to listen to your questions and to hear your comments. So please be shy. Don't be shy, and please say hello. Okay. Don't be shy and say hello. Okay. So again, my name is Eve. I am the host of the Please Me podcast. And my podcast aims to destigmatize conversations about sex and sexual health. And I do that by turning the sheets into our classroom. That's what I say at the beginning of my show. And this is what I want to do, is talk to people about sexuality and sexual health, because only through education, only through, awareness, can we help ourselves to get our pleasure needs met and to close that orgasm gap for ourselves. So it is just so important to have these conversations with your partner. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, but I will be back on. And again, you can reach me on the OWL app. So make sure you say hi.